Contempt is the basest of human feelings. It tries to take all humanness from others and drains the humanity from those who show contempt. And yet, on each occasion, it undoes itself. When contempt is at its greatest, then everything it upholds is reduced to nothing. At the start of World War I, when the small British expeditionary force marched into Belgium, it was described by Kaiser Wilhelm II, King of Prussia, as a contemptible little army. An order was given to defeat it forthwith. Yet, what a difference that group was to make to the course of the war. Rather than being a force to be ridiculed, it was Prussia that was defeated, and the BEF became known as the Old Contemptibles, with the word contemptible being like a badge of honour. In Proverbs, we are told that mocking the poor is mocking God. The New Testament says that we should be a living sacrifice to God. These ideas brought to mind the widow who Jesus observed making a small donation. Many at the time would have been disdainful of her offering and self-righteous about their own giving. Jesus did not show such contempt, but explained that she had given all that she had, to the point of it becoming a sacrificial act. In his hymn, Isaac Watts writes to underline this: "Forbid it, Lord, that I should boast, save in the cross of Christ my God. All the vain things that charm me most, I sacrifice them to his blood." The preceding verse in the hymn of paradoxes is the very contemptuousness of a death on the cross into great glory for humanity. When I survey the wondrous cross on which the King of glory died, my richest gain I count but loss, and pour contempt on all my pride. Jesus warned the teachers of the law who like to walk around in flowing robes, to be greeted with respect in the marketplace, and to have the most important seats in the synagogue. The death of Jesus was an act of contempt by such teachers of the law and leaders of the temple. They felt contempt for Jesus' views, his values, and saw him as a blasphemer. They felt that the only way to deal with such a man was to kill him. Crucifixion, as Paul knew, was an abomination for the Jewish people. He wrote in Galatians, "Cursed is anyone who hangs on a tree." And therefore the leaders of the temple preferred this death for Jesus above the stoning that would be the usual punishment for the crime of blasphemy. For the disciples, the manner of Jesus' death was second to the betrayal that led to the contemptible form of death. For Paul, though, the crucifixion is a pivotal point in time, and for the world, no longer a calamity or an abomination, an expression of contempt for the crucified man, but the very nub of the resurrection. The cross, the expression of absolute contempt, becomes the very opposite of all that is supposed to represent a miserable death and an end to everything. When we speak, as Paul did, of Christ crucified, we recognized how contempt has undone itself, has raised on high what it sought to bring low, and through physical death, and has released the divine, the Prince of Glory. The cross is no longer abominable, but wondrous. It is pride that is now contemptible, since Jesus is the essence of humility.